Behind the Brand features the people who are making things happen. Get the insight to grow your biz from experts who've done it. Get behind the brand.
And I don't think we live in a world where the best idea wins. I think we live in a world where the right idea at the right time that connects the right people always wins beyond whatever the better idea is. And I've had this situation in marketing, pitching for clients, and this is the story that I open the book with, where I lost an account even though we had the perfect idea, the perfect pitch, the perfect everything. And I lost because of chemistry, team chemistry. And that happens all the time.
So tell me about that experience.
Well, it was, you walk in and you have this moment where anybody who's had to pitch something or sell something has this moment where everything's going perfectly, where you have that feeling, and it's like,
Do you watch that show on AMC, The Pitch?
Yes.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah. That
pretty good
and
show.
Shark Tank, they're both like, you watch these things and these people have these amazing pitches, and you listen to these and you're like, wow, they nailed it. That was perfect.
Yeah.
And I had one of those moments doing a pitch in Australia 10 years ago, and we lost after that. And I couldn't understand. We had the better idea. We had everything perfect. And for a long time, I couldn't understand that. We wouldn't have changed anything. If we had to go back and do it again, we would have done exactly the same thing.
Yep.
It was one of those. And then a year later, I met that client. And what she told me was that we didn't lose because of the idea. We lost because they just wanted to work with the other team that pitched against us.
A personality thing.
Chemistry thing. And decisions like that are made all the time.
Yep.
About people who want to work with other people because of the chemistry and not necessarily because of the spreadsheet. And if you imagine so many things in our world where we think that the thing that we have is so different from everyone else, it's going to totally stand out.
Yeah.
Right? We want to be unique. We want to have a differentiator. At the end of the day, maybe the differentiator isn't that strong, and maybe even if it is, a month later somebody can duplicate that.
Right. Price is the same way, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's the easiest thing to imitate, and a lot of people...
The best way to know if you have no trust when you walk into a situation is if the first thing somebody asks you is, how much is that?
Right.
If that's the first question, you have zero trust.
Right.
So how do we make that not the first question? Right. I think that's the challenge for any person who's trying to sell their services.
What would you say? I'd like to know that myself.
Well, I think that reputation has to precede that, right? Because when a Hollywood producer, for example, goes off and they say, I want to work on this movie, and the first person that I want to be in the movie is Julia Roberts, they're not saying, how much is she going to charge as the first question?
Right.
They're saying, that's who I want,
right,
because of the reputation of that person.
Right.
Right. So that's the reputation, and in some cases, the personal brand of an individual is the ultimate way to charge more for exactly the same thing.
Sure.
Because if you don't have that, if Coke didn't have a brand, then they'd be the same price as the Safeway Select soda.
Sure. Same thing with Apple or
same thing with any
Sony or any of that.
But it works for people too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks don't necessarily think in that way in terms of themselves. Certainly think that way in terms of brands. We all kind of know that.
So how do we increase our brand equity? How do we increase our value?
That's a big question. But I think that one of the ways that I've found to do that is by adding value for people before they ask for it. So one thing is somebody asks you a question, you give them an answer. The other thing is I have something valuable to share. I'm going to proactively share it so that at the moment when someone's looking for that sort of information, I'm already there. I already have it. I've already published something. I've already put it out there. I've already shared that idea.